What's up, guys? So today I wanted to do another video here. This one is about heat sinks for your processor. I've been trying out some different heat sinks for my quad core processor, which I just upgraded. I took the old motherboard out. I bought the new motherboard. This is the M5A99, and I just got the heat sink I ordered from Japan. Which so far it seems like it's running pretty good. It's running at about, if this is correct, and I'm also using the Core Champ 1.0 hardware monitor, and it's showing about 77 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. 67, 81, it bounces back and forth between there. It shows megahertz, the load, and everything on there for all four cores. This is an AMD FX 4130 quad core processor. And I wanted to get your all's opinion on what type of heatsink should be used for this. It's a 125 watt processor. This is the one that I've been using. This one has a copper bottom. The plate on the bottom is copper, and it's got the two copper pipes on each side. This one has worked fine so far. And I bought this. This is a new fan I put on here. The old one was like 20 some CFMs. This one's about 50 something CFMs on here. And but yeah, this is what I've been using. This one, it runs pretty good. It keeps the CPU pretty cool. But I wanted to try something different, because as you can see, this covers the entire top of it. And other than blowing air down the sides here, it doesn't really, as far as the airflow goes, it doesn't really keep everything on the outside of the processor cool. Whereas I guess it doesn't really matter about that. But my question is this: I got this here today. This is a round heat sink. See if I get some light over here. That didn't do much good. As you can see, it's the round one. It's about 4.5 inches across. This has a 48 CFM fan on it. And the temperature seems to be doing pretty good with this one right now. But this is what came in. This is the package. And here's the specs from it. If I can get this thing to focus. .48 CFM. So yeah, my question for you guys is: do the round ones like this, the round radiator type ones, do they do better as far as cooling goes, or should I use the square one like this? Now, I have been looking up information on Google, and I have read that the copper ones work a lot better than the aluminum ones. However, it's extremely difficult to find a solid copper heatsink, and when you do, you're going to pay out the ass for it. I've probably found a few thousand different heat sinks on eBay, but I've only found maybe 15 or actually solid copper. Which I don't really care about being solid copper. There are some aluminum ones that are covered with copper or coated with copper that have a good rating on them. But I'm just not sure which one to do. Like I said, this one's round. This one came from China. It's not any specific brand, I don't think. Let me get this light over here. Let's see if that helps. Okay, here we go. Get up, everybody. Now, like I said, this one is about 4.5 inches wide. It sits about 2 inches high. And so far it's doing good. I mean, it's keeping the processor under 100 degrees, but I'm not really stressing it, running any kind of a program that would cause it to heat up more than it is. But I like this heat sink right here because it cools down those chips right there with the air that blows around it, because there's no blocking of any of the sides, and then it blows air on this one here too. But I do have a couple fans installed here on the side panel. So that also helps keep the temperature down too. I've got two intake fans right here, and I got two exhaust fans on the top, and then there's an exhaust fan there at the back. So the heat really doesn't stay in there long enough to cause any major damage. But I'm just curious about the heat sinks. Is this the best type of heat sink to use, or should I just stick with the block type like this? Because what I was asking is this here, there's no airflow coming out this side or the side over here. But this is a good heat sink. I mean, this was the first one I bought when I first got my computer parts back in October when I first started out with this new one. This is my third computer build, so I don't really know what to do as far as the heatsink goes. And I did find some on eBay. I haven't got them yet. I just bought them today, and then I think there was some I bought Tuesday. So I want to go ahead and show you that. Now this is the processor that I bought. And that's how much it was. And then this is one of the heat sinks I bought. I got this one too. This one also has an issue. I put this one in there and the temperature went a little bit higher because it's all aluminum. But the temperature was a little bit higher than what it was with this one just idling. And then I bought this one here too. This one is a copper coated one. It's got copper on the bottom, but the fins are coated with copper. And I got that one from Japan. This one has, let me see here, 52 CFM fan on it. Those are the specs for it. But I've got that one. And then I went ahead and bought one of these. This is the Zalman CNPS 8900 quiet one. I don't know what it means by refurbished unless they just replace the fan on it. But that one looks like it's solid copper, and of course it's $30 for that one, so it's going to be a little bit better quality than the other two I have. I don't know what the CFM is on this one because I can't find it in the listing anywhere. It just shows, you know, the cores that it supports, you know, Intel and AMD. It doesn't show the CFM of it. It says long life bearing, RPM is 1000 to 1500 RPMs, but there's no actual airflow thing on there as far as that goes. But this is what I'm running to show the core temperature. This is the core temp 1.0, and I'm guessing that right there is what the temperature is of the core. I haven't really used this software that much. I don't know much about this type of software. I do have the gadget that shows me how much of the CPU is being used and how much of the RAM is being used. This is a typical Windows 7 gadget. I don't actually have Windows 10 on this one yet because it's using 14% CPU and 23% memory. But yeah, as far as the heat sinks goes, which would be better? Would it be better just to have the round one? Because with the round one, it has the airflow 360 around it, so it's not only cooling the processor off, but everything that's around the processor, your RAM, and like the two chips I've got there that have the heat sinks on them on the side and below the processor. This one here didn't do that. It just blows air out the sides, not the top and the bottom. Just the two sides here. But I can't say that this is a good heat sink because it does keep the CPU cool. So I don't know. I'm just trying out a few different things here to see what happens. I haven't had any issues with it overheating. As I said, I don't know if this is the actual temperature. It says CPU number 0, so that's the main processor, which is the one that gets used the most. And it shows minimum 65 degrees Fahrenheit, maximum 140 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's at 67 right now. And then it went up to 81, 76, 72. So I'm guessing, and the other one I've got, which is the open hardware monitor, is saying the same thing about the temperature, the core temperature. This is the core temp right there. And then I have open the hardware monitor, which shows that the temperature for core number 1 is 77, 73, 71, and then this one says 80. It bounces back and forth, but basically the same thing. I mean, there's a few degrees difference between core temp and open hardware. One of the things I do like about the open hardware monitor is I can go in here and I can change the RPMs of my fan on my NVIDIA GeForce 730. I can change the right here. Let's see. Controls, GPU fan. I can go in here and I can hit control, go to manual, and I can change it to whatever percentage I want. But I don't see any way of doing that for the other fans up here. Let me see. Nah, it just shows that. They'll give you an option to actually change the fan speed. But this is a pretty good software anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'll get rid of this here. Let me know what you guys think about as far as the heatsink goes and the fans. I've got a bunch of fans here, so if one goes out, I have no problem with replacing it. I've got like 5 or 6 different fans, some for the case, some for the processor. I don't know how to replace the fans on these round ones because the fans are actually screwed onto the base, and I don't know if you can buy them individual like that. At least I haven't seen any on eBay yet, but who knows. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the heat sinks with these. Again, it's a 125 watt CPU, so it has to be able to cool at least 125 watts. But let me know what you guys think, because I'm really confused about all this stuff. Aluminum is supposed to be not as good as copper, but I guess copper and aluminum together is pretty good, so I don't know. Anyway, leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think, what you're using, especially those of you who build computers. Let me know what type of heatsink that you have. I've looked at the ones that have the pipes that stand the heatsink up away from the processor, and I've seen some good reviews on those. But I don't know. I could probably put ones maybe 4 or 5 inches tall inside mine. I don't know if they're better, considering that this heatsink sits directly on top of it and blows directly down onto the CPU, versus the other ones have a fan that blows through the heatsink itself. It doesn't blow directly down onto it. It just blows the heat away from the heat pipes that pulls the heat up into it. I don't know. I don't plan on ever overclocking this thing as far as it can go. I might eventually sometime, but I don't plan on it. So, and I don't have any kind of program that's going to use all 4 cores at 100%. So, I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think.